against same-sex marriage. Now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies. Now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
Well, actually, I have been very consistent over the course of my entire life.
I have to make sure when I get on Facebook, when I get back, to wish everybody happy Invasion Day, because really, isn't that what Thanksgiving is really about? Isn't everything we do Orwellian, even something that's hundreds of years old? Thank you for the turkey, Kimosabi. And, you know, be happy for what you got, Indians. I know, and it's nothing to laugh about. I mean, there's blood-soaked soil from here to California and Alaska and around the world, for that matter, for what we've done. None of which has been approved by me, by the way. And I have to think that there's got to be a whole lot of Americans who feel the same way. You know? I mean, as an animal, of course, I'm very quickly satisfied and happy that we own all this land, all the way from the west coast to the east coast, down to Mexico, up to Canada. I don't think that we really ever took the United States away from the British, though. I think that there's kind of a implicit agreement somehow, unwritten, maybe it's even written. I've read about documents where we are in fact still British subjects, where Esquire means squire, which would mean every lawyer in the country is actually in allegiance to the British Empire, not the United States. So it's interesting, right? But anyway, so yeah, I think it's appropriate for us to, you know, dance on the graves of our enemy every once a year. And you know, Indian people, you know I mean it, because while I don't condone it as a human being, I accept the fact that it was a different time. As a human being, what I want for me and all other American citizens, and I want all Indians living in the United States to become, I don't believe that you should sit on your little reservations and claim you're a different country. I think it's about time we stop playing that game, because the fact is, like it or not, you don't have your own country. You're not allowed to do whatever you want within your reservations. Your reservations are run by the BLM, or whatever it's called, the Bureau of Land Management. They don't even put your name in it. They don't even put Indian in it, let alone indigenous people, or I don't know. I mean, I suppose somewhere along the line they allow you to call it, you know, Cheyenne Reservation or whatever. God, Americans, white people can be loud and obnoxious. Everybody talks about black people. All white people always talk about black people being loud and obnoxious. Well, they got nothing on white people. White people can be extremely loud and obnoxious. So anyway, so, you know, they don't even have your territories aren't run by you. They're completely policed. At least anytime you step off the reservation, right? So, in my opinion, it's all bullshit. I think that all Indians, and, my uncle is the chief, or he was the son of the chief of the Osage tribe. His name's Charlie Osage. Charlie, if you're out there somewhere, I know I haven't seen you since I was 12 or something. And always loved you. You're a great guy. A lot of fun. My uncle was a dick to you, Uncle Elson, my by blood uncle. Charlie's only uncle and he's only a year older than me, because he's not by blood. I don't have, although I do have a sneaking suspicion that on my grandmother's side, on my father's side, I have Indian blood. My dad said, where do you think? My dad will never admit to anything. He's a neocon. He's dead, but he was a neocon. And he said, where do you think we got these brown eyes? And he just left it at that. And so I don't know, black, Indian, Hispanic, who the fuck knows, right? And who does know with my dad? Who will ever know? I still say he was not official capacity intelligence. He grew up, and as soon as he realized that he was kind of screwed as a hillbilly boy off of a farm, he joined the Army, rose to the highest rank, sergeant, with all those stripes up and down his arm. Went out to California and was basically in charge of a nuclear missile site on the coast that would fire their nukes at anything incoming. And at some point, he told me the story about how they almost did. He told me his commanding officer was like a total son of a bitch, and he loved this guy. He was like, this was back in the day when men were men, And he said one day that they got something on the radar out in the Pacific, and so everybody started calling around, what is this? And he said his gung-ho commander called up when he couldn't get any answers, he called up his bosses, and he said, you give me some information or I'm going to launch a nuke at it. And apparently they did never launch a nuke. But the point of this story is my dad had top secret clearance at that point in the military. So my dad wasn't just because he handled nuclear weapons. And in order to handle nuclear weapons, in order to know how to, set them up for launch and stuff, you have to have top secret clearance. So he already, among all the other things that I say he's a not official capacity intelligence person when we were in Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia, and whatever, because you're like that for life. You make an oath and you swear you'll never tell anybody, and you never are officially working for anybody. You don't get a paycheck from the CIA. You don't get a paycheck from the military. What you get is awesome jobs and offers to send your kid to Harvard if you want. That was what happened. I got offered that after refusing to go back to Oxford. I was in the same program as Bill Clinton, the International Baccalaureate program. 1 year into it, I decided Oxford wasn't for me, and I headed back. And in New York, I was offered to be sent to Harvard. Hi there.
Hello. Hi.
How you doing? So, I just think that in order to be treated like human beings, we have to make everybody within our borders, and we can't have a whole bunch of reservations. I mean, yeah, we can arrange the same kind of autonomy, but you have to be an American citizen. And you can't be special American citizens. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe we should do that, but I don't think we should. But, and I understand being an American citizen doesn't hold much weight these days, you know. Being a poor American citizen doesn't hold any weight. And you have no legal system to back you up. I understand all that. The economic system is geared to work against you. But we're going to change that. And when we do, I want all American citizens, or all Americans living in our borders, to be American citizens and benefit from free health care, minimum wage, basic income, housing, utilities, food stamps, and, if we can find it, a job. Basically, human values. I mean, they're human rights. You live in a system that doesn't grant you those rights. You agree that you're able or willing, and if you're able, if you're not able, then you get everything for free, right? I mean, that's because we take care of the least of those amongst us, because we're Jesusans. Yes, we're not Christians. We don't believe in magic people. But we're Jesusans. We believe in the message, what the Christians call the Word, except for we don't believe in their word with all the magic stuff, right? I mean, it's just mythology. And the funny thing is it's just the same mythology that's been around for thousands of years, right? And we've all figured that out. You know, you can watch what is it called, Guide Side, or I forget what the name of it is, and all the other people. And you can listen to and I don't agree with atheists. I don't believe there is no God. I believe he's not some guy in a white robe and sandals and a long white beard walking along beside me right here invisible. I mean, I do agree with them on that. But I believe that this universe is God. I believe that everything is made from God. And I believe that all of the things that we think of as God are built in to that material world. And that material world is simply a reflection or a cover for what God really is. And no, I don't think it walks around with us, protecting us. And so, you know, I just think we should make this a place where all Americans are treated equally and therefore get justice under just laws, etc. Indians, blacks, whites, you know, whatever, purple with, or white with purple polka dots. And I've made it clear enough that I believe in want all indigenous people within our borders to be American citizens and not be, you know, join with us. Join with us. Show us your indigenous nature of community. Join with us as Americans. If you feel it's a sacrifice, then make the sacrifice. You know, I see a lot of to-do about losing your culture. And when you join with us, your culture is going to be American. And no, I'm not saying you have to lose it, but look at me. I mean, I'm a king of Scotland. My ancestry goes back through Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton, to the Drummonds, the three brothers, and the Stuart dynasty, or whatever you want to call it. I'm a king of Scotland, you know. Claim my rights. Scottish people, bow down to me. No, I'm an American. But I don't wear a kilt. I don't play bagpipes, although I would like to learn how to play bagpipes. I mean, God, that bagpipe bed on, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll at AC/DC. Shit, man, I wish I could do that on some of my songs. So all I'm saying is, you know, give us a break with all the, you know, I know you're just trying to impress us. You're trying to impress us with your culture, and you may have a very impressive culture, but guess what? So do I. So does everybody. And none of us are having our culture oppressed. We choose to be whatever we are, and we choose to, like, I choose to be as Scottish as I want to be. I mean, I've even learned the Scottish accent and bits of the Scottish language, Celtic. As an English student at University of St. Thomas in Houston, I studied some Celtic, second year English, Beowulf, all that crap, right? Hey there, morning. So, you know, that's pretty much how I feel about the situation. Obviously, I'm not a racist. I want black people, Hispanics. I'm not talking about people who aren't citizens now. I mean, that's a different subject. People who come here. They're not our responsibility. I do believe in sending them back at this time. I do believe in fixing our country and then dealing with the question of whether we can, how much we can do outside, okay? But what I'm talking about is in this country. And I want, and I don't live here, so I'm not rich. My mother lives here. She owns the house that you see. It's just a good place to jog. And so you see a lot of these videos coming from me jogging over at my mom and dad's house. Where I live, there's no place to jog, literally. So, you know, that's how I feel. And I understand all the people who are like trying to get there. And I don't believe in taking kids away from their parents and all that stuff. Haiti, you know, you came here, you had your kids, you got to take them with you. I know you hate that. They say, well, they're legally American citizens, and therefore they'll leave them behind when they're sent to Haiti because they want to stay here so bad. And this is what's going on right now, right? These people were allowed to come here from Haiti, and rightfully so, if it's true. If they were not led to believe that they could stay here, they were just refugees for a while. And yeah, they got to go back, and they got to take their kids with them. You can't just come here and pop out a baby and say it's an American citizen. That's bullshit. You know, we've got to take care. We have 1 million black children on the streets. You don't see them here, huh? But I see them. I see them downtown. I see them when I'm in St. Louis. I see them when I'm in Cincinnati even. I see them when I'm in Louisville. You know? 1 million. And you think, and here's the awkward twist to all this, right? The reason that the rich don't take care of this problem of poverty is because then they can say, well, let's bring in more poor people And that way, we can make the poor people who live here even more pinched, right? I mean, they really do work against us in really evil, disgusting ways. And I don't blame the people they bring in. I mean, they allow the people to come in the country. I agree with Trump. Put up a wall. No more illegal immigrants. No more people putting pressure on our poor. But at the same time, the reason that's happening is because we don't have anybody who's willing to stand up to the rich in our country and take care of our problem. I mean, we'd like to take care of our problem and then start looking at the immigration situation. But we don't have that, and we have seen what the rich do when it comes to immigration. Ronald Reagan, what he did has now produced 40 million Hispanic Mexicans in this country legally, because the 3 or 4 million that he gave amnesty were allowed to bring all their families, and oh, did they ever. And when they ran out of family, they started working on the illegal people, creating a huge problem for us. I mean, we don't want to spend the money saving the world. Hi. My neighbors, they're all Nepalese. Most of them came here at some point as refugees. Some of them, I don't know how they came here, but there's a lot of them. I mean, that's Nepalese. That house around the corner is Nepalese. Those are Nepalese, and another house down there is Nepalese. This one's Nepalese. That one over there is some kind of, I don't know, Chinese or Nepalese or something. They don't speak English at all. I've tried to talk to them. I wanted to ask them about their weeding, because they'll be out here on their lawn just picking away at it, but they couldn't speak any English. My neighbor, I call them mine because I'm here a lot, and I know them all. They've obviously got people over, because that's not one of their cars. Nepalese name of, well, he calls himself Top, but he's got like some really long Nepalese name. I think this is all white people, all the way down, and then there may be there's a Chinese family right there at the very end of the cul-de-sac, and there's one black family for sure, or black and white. Might be a mix. Mother and father might be black and white. There may be one other black family down there in the corner somewhere. Been here 2 years. Don't really want to know the white people. Most of them are assholes, as most white people are. I'm friends with the Nepalese.
Do you think New York State should recognize gay marriage?
No.
No. Okay.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
I have not supported same-sex marriage. I have supported civil partnerships and contractual relationships.
I support marriage for lesbian and gay couples. I support it personally and as a matter of policy and law.
So you're saying your opinion on gay marriage changed, or you changed your mind?
You know, I have to say, I think you are being very persistent, but you are playing with my words and playing with what is such an
I'm just trying to clarify
issue.
so I can understand.
No, I don't think you are trying to clarify. I think you're trying to say that, you know, I used to be opposed and now I'm in favor and I did it for political reasons, and that's just flat wrong. So let me just state what I feel like you are implying and repudiate it. I have a strong record. I have a great commitment to this issue, and I am proud of what I've done and the progress we're making.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just want to clarify what I was saying. No, I was saying that you maybe really believed this all along, but, believed in gay marriage all along, but felt for political reasons America wasn't ready yet and you couldn't say it. That's what I was thinking.
No, that is not true.
It really is great how long you've supported gay marriage.
Yes.
I could have supported it sooner. Well, you did it pretty soon. Could have been sooner. Fair point.
In July, New Hampshire, you told the crowd you, quote, take a backseat to no one when it comes to progressive values.
I take a backseat to no one when you look at my record and standing up and fighting for progressive values.
Last month in Ohio, you said you plead guilty to, quote, being kind of moderate and center. Do you change your political identity based on who you're talking to?
No, I think that, like most people that I know, I have a range of views, but they are rooted in my values and my experience.
I get accused of being kind of moderate and center. I plead guilty.
Just for the record, are you a progressive or are you a moderate?
I'm a
First never-before-seen video of Hillary Clinton inside the Walmart empire. She's probably one of the most investigative politicians in American history. And this morning you're going to see her in a way you've never seen her before, serving on the board of Walmart. ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Brian Ross is here with details on this. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Robin. Although she makes no mention of it in her official biography, Hillary Clinton served for 6 years on the board of Walmart, the huge retailer criticized by many for its treatment of workers and its strident opposition to unions. Walmart's opposition to unions was led for decades by labor lawyer John Tate, who after his retirement proudly recalled at this company meeting in 2004 what he said was his favorite phrase.
Labor unions are nothing but blood-sucking parasites living off of the productive labor of people who work for a living.
Hillary Clinton was not present at this Walmart meeting, but Tate was relied on for years to keep unions out at Walmart, including during the 6 years from 1986 to 92, when Clinton was on the Walmart board and Tate was either an executive or a member of the board himself.
Going through the emails, there were over 60,000 in total sent and received. About half were work-related and went to the State Department, and about half were personal that were not in any way related to my work.
When you speak to the public, you say, I turned over everything. That's, for the most part, a direct quote. When you talk to the public, you say I turned over everything.
90 to 95% of my work-related emails were in the state system. If they wanted to see them, they would certainly have been able to.
You know what?
So.
That is maybe the 10th time you have cited that figure today.
It is.
And I have not heard anyone other than you ever cite that figure. Who told you that 90 to 95% of your emails were in the State Department system? Who told you that?
We learned that from the State Department in their analysis of the emails that were already on the system.
The Inspector General report found that less than 1% of State Department emails, record emails, were captured. So they give a number of less than 1%, and you give a number of 90%.
Interest in Libya in 2012.
The server contains personal communications from my husband and me.
Only time I got on the internet, I did 2 emails, and I ordered Christmas presents from a reservation. Otherwise, I found people said embarrassing things on emails. I didn't want to be one of them.
I mean, and how many angels dance on the head of a pin? I have really nothing to.
I represented Wall Street as a senator from New York, and I went to Wall Street in December of 2007, before the big crash that we had, and I basically said, cut it out. Quit foreclosing on homes. Quit engaging in these kinds of speculative behaviors.
Now, who's exactly to blame for the housing crisis? And I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Home buyers who paid extra fees to avoid documenting their income should have known they were getting in over their heads.
Of course, we have to deal with the problem that the banks are still too big to fail. We can never let the American taxpayer and middle-class families ever have to bail out the kind of speculative behavior that we saw. But we also have to worry about some of the other players. AIG, a big insurance company, Lehman Brothers, an investment bank. There's this whole area called shadow banking. That's where the experts tell me the next potential problem could come from. So I'm with both Senator Sanders and Governor O'Malley in putting a lot of... I represented New York, and I represented New York on 9/11. When we were attacked, where were we attacked? We were attacked in downtown Manhattan, where Wall Street is. I did spend a whole lot of time and effort helping them rebuild. That was good for New York, it was good for the economy, and it was a way to rebuke the terrorists who had attacked our country.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with you.
As Senator Clinton, the pressures are very different. It's a well-financed industry. A lot of people don't realize that the industry that gave the most money to Washington over the past few years was not the oil industry, was not pharmaceuticals. It was consumer credit products. Those are the people, the credit card companies have been giving money, and they have influence.
And Mrs. Clinton was one of them, a senator.
She has taken money from the groups, and more to the point, She worries about them as a constituency.
So what does this mean, though, to these people, these millions of people out there whom the politicians cavort in front of as favoring the middle class and then are beholden to the powerful interests that undermine the middle class? What does it say about politics today?
You know, this is the scary part about democracy today. We're talking again about the impact of money. The credit industry on this bankruptcy bill has spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying, and as their profits grow, they just throw more into lobbying for how they can get laws that will make it easier and easier and easier to drain money out of the pockets of middle-class families.